Hello, y'all.
Welcome to Edging, and this is our final installment of Frankenstein, isn't it?
Yep. Might be a shorter one, because this one, I believe, is the shortest of all the volumes. But it is a good one.
I feel like there is still so much to clear up for me regarding this story. Like, I cannot wait to hear what's going on.
You don't know about Frankenstein. You just know what you know. That's how I went into it with. I was like, oh, yeah, it's just like then they try to burn him. Nah.
Yeah.
There's not even an angry mob.
Really? Like, never? You're having to think, which is enough, right? Like,
yeah.
It's just clearly not what the story is about.
No. I do want to see Maggie Gyllenhaal's The Bride.
Yeah. I don't think I've heard of that.
So Maggie Gyllenhaal has directed, maybe she wrote, a new movie starring Jessie Buckley and Christian Bale.
Ooh.
And they are the Bride of Frankenstein and Frankenstein. And it's like a retelling, and it's like a 20s noir kind of look.
That's a cool vibe.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be really good.
I feel like I'm either going to really like it or be like, but
yeah, I feel like, and it's different with something like Frankenstein or any kind of like older story that feels like it's basically a fairy tale. But everything is just a remake or a retelling.
Yeah.
And I want more than that.
Yeah. I am interested in it, but I don't know. It's not gotten a lot of good reviews, but it also is made by a woman, so I don't take that into account.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard because I feel like a movie's a huge investment. So if I'm not already really invested in something, or even sometimes if I am, if all the reviews are really bad, I won't try to see it. And then I feel like sometimes I'm selling myself short, and it's actually really good.
I often, if I'm not like really, really sure, or unless somebody invites me to go to a movie, I'll wait until it's streaming.
I don't like going to the movies. This is maybe a really hot take. I find that people are usually surprised by this. I also don't really like going to concerts. There are a few specific times where I'm like, yeah, that'll be really fun. But I find the movie experience to just be like, it is so expensive.
That's why there's a local theater near us called the Kentucky Theater.
Yeah, it's great.
I like going there because it's an older theater. Like, it's very fancy on the inside. And I like going there because the prices are still affordable.
It's like $8.
Yeah, and they let you know all of the, like, they don't like say, oh, the ticket's going to be $15. Then it's like, but then after our 6 different fees, when you're checking out, it's like, no, they're like, okay, it's going to be this $2 taxes, this $1 fee, done.
I think there are some businesses where we should just legally prohibit the use of Afterpay. Like, I don't want to see that on my food orders. I don't want to see it on a movie ticket. I want them to just be like, you can't afford this right now.
Yeah.
Like, it shouldn't cost that much.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm much more into the idea of like walking up and buying a ticket to go to a movie, but the entire affair that is like pre-ordering your tickets, picking your seats, paying for parking to see a movie.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
And it's just like, I understand that the concessions are more expensive, blah, 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 blah. They make their money on them. But then have them be good. Like, have something for me. Be one of the theaters with real butter or good hot dogs that are cheap. Like, I'll pay for one of the things, but there's got to be a draw.
The other day, Clark and I went to the movies. They had, which was fun, they had the original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire in theaters.
I wish that I had come because I really want Mason to watch that movie.
It was so good to see. I'm pretty sure I saw it in theaters when it came out, but the screens are a lot bigger than in Hazard, Kentucky when I was a kid. So it was really cool to watch. But before the previews ended, because I do love previews, I was like, I wish we would have got like popcorn and a drink because we were running late. So I went to get us popcorn and a drink. Literally, one drink, one popcorn, and I think it came with one candy. Guess how much it cost?
$30.
$30.
Yeah, 100%. And
it shouldn't be $60 to $75 for one couple to go to the movie theaters.
No, because honestly, I can still, if I plan right, get a nice dinner for that.
Yeah.
And like, honestly, I'm not even saying a really nice dinner. I know if I go to fucking Applebee's, I spend that much money.
Yeah.
But the thing that's fucked up actually is that it's kind of like when eggs were really expensive. The nicer eggs were cheaper than the inflated crappy eggs. Mm-hmm. And that's sort of how I feel about like, I can go get a really decent meal and it's the same to get fast food.
Yeah, fast food now is like $15.
And it's like you have to like game the system and like have the app and do all this shit. And it's just...
If I have to download one more app in my fucking life...
I'm about to get rid of my phone. Like I've already gotten off of a lot of social media, and the only time I ever miss it is when I'm trying to figure out how to get the word out about like our shows.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel like my life is suffering at all because I can't post a selfie every time I think about it. And like I'd like to, but I don't want to just like, I don't want to have to hand my shit to Mark Zuckerberg so he can do some freaky fucking shit with it.
Yeah, weirdly enough, now that I'm older, when I take selfies, I usually don't post them. I just like take them.
Yeah, it's like fine. But if I had a website, I'd fucking put those all over it.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I want to do. I want to make a website and it's just like, you want to see me? Come check it out. Like,
yeah, everything is.
There are bigger problems and we're talking around them and we know that. But like, you got to just bitch sometimes.
Sometimes. I was telling Brooke I don't have all of my notes for this episode done because I had what the youth call a mentee bee last night. Mm-hmm. It all like kind of stemmed from just a lot of stuff going on in my life, plus all the stuff going on in the world. But then it was heightened by the fact that I was at aerial sling. I love to do like aerial arts, and I was too scared to do a drop.
Yeah.
And everybody else in the class did it, and I was too scared to do it. And I was like, okay. And then I like, because it was my third class in the past couple days, so I was like, my muscles were tired, and I felt like everything was just tight and sore, and I was bruised. And I get in the car, and I'm driving and just start sobbing, thinking about everything. And I get home, and Clark's like, what? And I'm like, it's just everything. He's like, well, do you need to like back off of some stuff? I'm like, no, I don't think that'll even make it any better.
That's the thing that's hard is like, you know, like your partner will be like, how can I help? What's wrong? And you're like, everything is wrong. And I don't think there's anything to do about it right now. It's just.
And there is nothing we can do right now.
It's just reached critical mass for me in this moment. And honestly, I just need to cry probably.
Yeah.
And I don't like it any more than you do. It's not. Because it's not like a good cathartic cry. It just is your body releasing some of the tension.
Yeah, it wasn't cathartic. It wasn't like a really good cry. I still felt shitty enough to have a dream that you and Mason joined a cult.
Yeah.
Because that's also my fun thing is whenever I'm just like not having a good time in life, my dreams are like, okay, nightmare every night.
Oh, and here's the thing. I find it, I was telling Mason about this, and I understand where he's coming from. I think maybe I'm wrong about it, and I don't really get it. I feel like it is crazy when people tell me they're lucid dreaming on purpose. Because I'm like, I don't want to fuck with anything about what's going on.
No.
I go to sleep, and I'm just hoping that whatever nightmare I do have, I either do not remember it or... You ever have the nightmares where they sound a lot scarier than they are?
Yeah.
Because in the dream, you're not really stressed about it, like zombie apocalypse shit. Sounds like a video game. I had one like that the other day I was telling Mason about, and I honestly can't remember anything about it now. But it was very like, there was like a killer on the loose, and there was some kind of supernatural mask that had like possessed him, and then it took him over. But that was just like a movie I watched. That was like nothing.
Do you ever have a nightmare and you wake up and you're kind of like, that would be a good story to write, and then you start writing it and you're like, okay, actually it's not that great.
It's actually nothing.
Yeah.
It's not good at all. My subconscious is just kind of chilling. But when I have like nightmares that really fuck me up, I feel like they never sound scary. It's just that my body like feels dread and I like wake up panicking.
Yeah. Yeah. When you all joined the cult in my dream last night, it was a lot scarier than it sounded, but I was like, fuck, I gotta run away from this. Yeah. But then I was also like, fuck, I can't find my car.
And you can never find your car. And I feel like I can never scream. I can never find my car. My entire childhood was kidnapping nightmares.
Yeah.
I still have those sometimes, but those were the really big ones. And usually some kind of like Hieronymus Bosch-esque hellscape situation.
Yeah.
And then I just wake up and I'm like, I guess. And then people are like, I'm doing this thing where I try to fall asleep while I'm still awake. And I'm like, yeah, I have this thing where sometimes sleep paralysis just happens to me. And so that feels like inviting it.
Yeah.
That feels like handshaking with the demon and saying, why don't we do this today?
Yeah, Clark has sleep paralysis. My husband, Clark, if this is your first episode, weird point to jump in. It's the third of a series, but whatever.
That's fine. Live your truth.
Love you. He has sleep paralysis. And then I have schizoaffective disorder.
Yeah.
So nights are sometimes fucking wild for us. Because I'll be having my like little hypnagogic hallucinations because I've been stressed out.
Dude.
And they're always like spiders. They look fake though. Like I know they're not real spiders, but when they're like swinging towards you on their little web, I'll just start like punching at them. And Clark will be like, they're not real, they're not real. And then he'll like be in a sleep paralysis and be like, ooh, and I have to like roll him over so he wakes up.
I want to make a sketch that it's like y'all are like if Haunting of Hill House was an Adam Sandler movie.
That's how it feels. Also, though, really quick before we get into our Frankenstein stuff, several episodes ago, I think maybe the beginning of this season, because the seasons don't mean anything. I just come up with them at random, just so you know. We talked about how we've always seen ourselves as writers, but we're not putting stuff out there, so we're finally making ourselves do that.
Yeah.
And Brooke has been really awesome in editing stuff for me, which I've been very appreciative of. Because
I'm enjoying it.
Sometimes you just need a second set of eyes.
Yeah.
But I started uploading some stuff to Substack.
Hell yeah.
I uploaded one thing so far. Probably going to upload something else today. So let me see what my Substack is called, and y'all should go follow me. It's free.
Yeah, we'll link it in the show notes.
That is good. It's Aunt B. Freeman, B spelled like the buzzing type. But yeah, I was just like, because I've submitted to so many magazines.
Yeah.
And so many magazines. And I'm like trying to do that thing that I saw on TikTok. 1,000 no's. I'm going to get 1,000 no's. And like, that's fine. But fuck, it gets really tough to try to get 1,000 no's. It really starts hitting at your self-esteem. I'm at 15 no's.
And honestly, that's great. I feel like everyone's 1,000 no's is a different amount of no's.
Yeah.
Because like there's different parts of your life you can explore that in. It doesn't always have to be your writing, which is a thing you're already struggling to feel confident about.
Yeah. And so far, 0 yeses. But then also I'm like, I'm going to just start posting stuff to Substack, sending people to, I started a Gumroad that I'm going to sell short stories for really cheap.
Oh, cool.
I'm just kind of, I keep waiting for somebody to just discover me.
Right.
And it's just not happening. So but I need to keep going with it. So that's what I'm making myself do. So check it out. And soon you'll be able to buy some short stories that Brooke has edited for me.
Hell yeah. Yeah, y'all should definitely check it out. And I think these stories are really great. I am enjoying getting to read them. And I love editing people's writing. I feel like it's also kind of a crutch for me because it's like way easier to help someone with their stuff than do mine. So
you're very good at it, though. You're really good with feedback, because that's the thing that I want to work on, because you had me look at something for you. And at first I was like, I don't want to say anything, because I was, you don't want it. You like make it feels so personal. Yeah. But then I was like, okay, edit this one thing. And you were like, yeah, that makes sense. I was wondering about that. And I'm like, okay, I'm not awful.
I think it's important too. You know, I feel like this is so similar to that thing where people will be like, I hate it as an actor when a director gives me line reads. And I'm like, well, it just seems like the quickest way to get this done, girl. Yeah. Like, you don't I understand where you're coming from. And I think it's valid to feel like there's a shitty way to do that, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a shitty way to do everything. But you and I have an understanding that if I say something and you don't agree, you're the writer. You know that. We don't have to do that on every comment I make because it's a lot quicker and easier for both of us if I just tell you the things that stand out to me. And you'll notice if changing a couple of them solves the other problem or if it's not a problem at all. But it's just like, I think we are all just like a little bit too precious about the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Like it's really easy to say, I hate when a director does a line read for me when what you mean is, I hate that director and I think they're disrespectful.
Yeah.
Or I hate when someone says this about writing, but it's like you asked for feedback. So maybe that person just like isn't the right kind of person to give you feedback.
Yeah, you're really, really good with feedback. And also sometimes I'll be writing and I write the way that I talk and sometimes I just be saying shit.
Yeah.
And I don't know where I'm going with anything. Or like I say a sentence that like makes sense to me and you're like, I don't really know what you mean by that. And I'm like, that doesn't seem, because there's a difference between like I want to speak and write in my dialect.
Absolutely.
But also when it gets to the point where it's not just dialectical or whatever, but it's like how I talk to myself in my head, it's like, okay, nobody's going to get that.
And I feel like there's a thing, too, where it's super important to have people that you trust. Like you said, sometimes it's great to have another set of eyes. I think it always is because something that I struggle with is that I try to over-edit when I'm writing. And it's really important to just get it out and onto the page.
Yeah.
And so, like, when I come up on something and I'm leaving notes on it, I'm, like, just glad I can be helpful and that I've noticed something. I'm not like, can't fucking believe Bridget didn't write this different. Because I'm like, oh, I totally get where she's going. And the rest of the story is here because you just put it down.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you just have to get it down. And that's what I need to try and do more. And I'm trying to have that balance between, like, not being mad at myself for not writing more because, like, life's kind of crazy right now. Like, it's really hard. And a lot of the work that I do is creative, but also at the same time, try to find ways to build in time around that.
Yeah. And also it's tough because we are definitely trying to survive. I'm super envious of, like, people back in ye olden times who like went to college for the fun of learning.
Yeah.
And then like they would just get to summer in like some other part of Europe.
Yeah.
Or even in America that happens. I just started a show. I forget what it's called because I was just like, oh, let's just turn this on. And it's a family and they summer in Martha's Vineyard.
I think you're just describing rich people all the time.
Yeah.
I think they still do that. But the reality is that we're part of kind of the last generation that was pushed to like be the first one to go to college.
Yeah.
And like other people in my family had gone to college, but like my parents didn't go to college. And it was so hard. The first year I had a 4.0 and I loved it. Because I was just taking classes and it was so fun. And the rest of it was a downslide towards a decade-long burnout.
Yep.
And it was so honestly like dehumanizing, and it really destroyed my passion for learning up until about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And since then, I have learned so many new things, and I've been like relearning how to learn, like teaching myself to knit and getting help with that, and crochet and audio production and like all of the different things that I have done. And I built up so many walls when I was in college because it really made me feel stupid.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just don't think that's what it's supposed to do. That can't be the goal.
I'm doing online school again to just get some more degrees because I'm a glutton for punishment. And also,
Sure.
I started liking learning again.
Yeah.
And I started liking academia again after I was out of school for 10 years.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not getting a master's right after.
I've talked to other creatives, and it's like exactly the same.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
in my 30s, I started to feel like I could do it again.
And it's funny, too, because I'll be in some of my, because I'm doing an accelerated, master's and doctorate of arts. So you're doing some of the classes at the same time. And I'll be in some of my doctorate classes, and we'll be having conversations, and the stuff that I'm writing, I'm just like, I feel like I'm just like, hey girl, like this is what's going on, Vygotskian sociocultural theory,
Hell yeah,
like
dude.
all of that stuff. And I'm like, God, I sound so dumb. And then I got a 97 on my last midterm that was all essays. And I'm like, okay, I sound different.
Yeah.
But I'm not dumb.
Well, it's because you're not 20 anymore and you don't care about sounding smart. You care a lot more about being understood, which is like actually the point. But I really think we should question whether or not we should be spending all of this money on going to college. And nobody is anymore. My student loans. I can't even get into that. But, and we should really interrogate whether or not we should be going to college before our brains are done developing.
Yeah, it is crazy that they just like. When I started college, I was still 17, and I had to have. One of my professors had to call my dad and get him to give permission for a trip we were going on.
Crazy.
And like my dad answers the phone, and he's like, "I moved her there. Like I'm 3 hours away. She's in charge now."
It's just crazy. And yet I was 17 when I signed all of those loans.
Yeah.
Got cosigns for all of those loans. And it was just really the only way I saw to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I think in a lot of ways for me that was true. But I really hope, and I do think that young people now understand that that's not true, that there are other options. It was just the one that was known to me. You know, you can go to college anywhere in the world if you get accepted, and you just figure the rest out.
Yeah, like if we don't ever make it to where we can 100% just do these things as our jobs, I eventually want my 9 to 5 to be not 9 to 5, but I want to do like part-time working through community colleges, because the older I get, the more I'm like, fuck, those are so important.
They're so important.
You think that you're like, I have to go to the most prestigious No. Go to your local community college and get your gen eds. Go into trades.
If I could have gone back in time, my high school had a trade school program. If I could go back in time, I wouldn't really change anything because I'm afraid of that. That's probably my biggest fear, is the way that people fuck with time.
Yeah.
I would change nothing and just keep everything exactly the same. But if I could do it all again, I would become an auto mechanic. And that's
be good at that.
Yeah.
Even though you just started driving at 27.
Yeah. And probably I still would have done that. Can't fucking drive, fix cars. But like, at first I thought maybe it would have been electrician, whatever, but I would have learned a trade that I would have loved. And even if I wasn't working as an auto mechanic now, I don't think necessarily I'd want that to be my forever only job.
Yeah.
But I think it would have prepared me so much better for the world. And then I would have this skill where I could always get work, and I would know that I could always get work, and I could also like fix my own car. And it's just like the understanding that you get from understanding how something works that's really physical and tactile. And most of what I got from college was like the experience and social stuff. That's pretty much the vibe.
Yeah, we met.
And I did become a lot more confident.
Yeah.
Getting a theater degree is genuinely, like, people make fun of it, but y'all can't talk in front of crowds. And I don't know how to tell you how powerful it is to get over that and learn how to talk in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
It's still feels scary sometimes, but you're going to be fine.
Yeah. What are they going to do to you?
Yeah.
All righty. So we're in the last part of Frankenstein.
Oh, my God.
In this final volume of Frankenstein, we have our first ever voicemail from one of y'all.
This genuinely was like made my month, getting this voicemail.
As soon as we got it, I texted Brooke, all caps, we got a voicemail.
So if you, voicemail leaver, are listening, you'll know, maybe you'll have noticed that we got your voicemail from our hats. Should I play it, Bridget?
Play the voicemail.
Let's hear our very, very first voicemail.
Hi, this is Jeff Medeiros. Just had an idea as far as what you could do with your baseball hats for the Frankenstein series that you're reading about. I thought it'd be cool if you actually did some form of a stitching, like where Frankenstein's head was stitched back together after implanting his brain. If you did some type of stitching on the hat part that made it look like that, I think that would be pretty cool. Thank you. Have a good day.
I think it's really cool, Jeff.
Look at us. Look at us.
I'm not very good at drawing, but I did my best, and I think it's a great first addition to our hats, which we are super down to decorate for all of our different projects. We also realized that these are baseball caps, and vampires love baseball, so we really should have been wearing them.
We should have been wearing them for Twilight, and we still can. We also have a text message that was sent to us that we'll probably do the next Twilight episode.
Okay. I'm so excited.
Yeah, thank you all for talking to us. We're so happy.
We really just want to hear from you. You can call or text us at 413-GET-EDGY. That's 413-438-3349. And you don't have to remember it. It's in the show notes. I don't remember it. I have to read it every time.
I know you're reading it each time, but I'm still just like...
Look at her go.
Look at her. So yes, this is volume 3, the final part of the novel Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. When we left Victor Frankenstein, his creature had found him on a glacier and told him his life story, starting from the moment Victor abandoned him. And after some going back and forth, Victor agrees to create a female mate for the creature in exchange for the creature taking his new bride and going into the South American jungle far from other people.
Why does everybody think that they can just bring their problems to South America?
Yeah.
Like, leave them alone.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, there's nobody in South America at those parts.
There are indigenous people. There are entire, like, cities. Like, let's just not.
Yeah. But, so Victor's like, no, I'm not going to do this. And then the creature convinces him, and it's pretty convincing because the creature's like, look, I'm so lonely that now I've started killing. I'm so lonely that I killed your little brother with my bare hands. So what are we going to do, Victor?
Every man on a dating app.
Yep.
Listen, I'm going to kill people, maybe myself, if I don't get a girlfriend soon. And you're like, this is a lot, okay?
This is a lot for me to take on. Yeah. I don't want to be the Jesus Christ martyr of your dating life. Patrick.
No. Patrick.
I don't know where Patrick came from. I was like, think of a name. But eventually Victor agrees, and the creature lets him know that he will be watching his progress.
Okay.
So Victor returns to Geneva for some lake time because they are rich. And lake time, I mean, I do enjoy a lake. Lake Geneva's probably nice.
Yeah.
It looks beautiful. But he's there because he's not excited to get started on making another creature that he'll yet again just send off into the world with no regard for it or anyone else.
It's just so like a man to be like, it's so hard for me that I'm going to do this thing again that I made all the choices in and did.
Yep, he is definitely living with his choices right now. And his father, Alphonse, is like, you need to go ahead and marry Elizabeth, your sister cousin, fiance.
Yeah.
And Victor assures his dad, he's like, of course I love Elizabeth, and not just as a sister cousin, but as a wife.
Oh, sure.
Because everybody knows he loves her as a sister cousin, but he's like, no, I do want to marry Elizabeth. She is the girl for me. I understand why his dad's asking, though, because it's been years and years of them. First of all, it's creepy that she was adopted to kind of be his wife eventually. But, like, for years, it's been talked about that they'll get married. But for years, he's gone off to college or gone and traveled Europe, and Elizabeth is just waiting.
And it's like, just let her go, dude. Like, let her go live her life.
So he assures his dad he wants to marry her, but he has to get some research done before they can get married. The research, of course, is related to his new creation. He's like, I need to do some scientific research first. He decides that he's going to go do this research in England. That is so he can, because the creature's going to be following him to keep up with his progress, and he wants to get the creature as far away from his dad and Elizabeth as possible.
That makes sense.
Keep them safe. So obviously they're a bit worried about his mental health. He seems off.
Yeah.
Because he's dealing with his own consequences, which is relatable. We all eventually, when we do something shitty, have to live with it. It's just his something shitty has resulted in death.
He also really did, like, It's not like he had to make the creature.
Yeah.
Like, he just decided to do that.
Yeah. He made the creature in the grief of his mother. Like, he became very interested in anatomy.
Yeah.
But, like, me too.
And you don't see...
But I didn't make a guy.
And you also certainly didn't then abandon that creature that you had
That's the biggest
created.
thing. If you're going to make a guy... You gotta keep up with it, especially if you make a 7-foot tall guy.
And like, we talk a lot about the parallels between this and like motherhood or like being a parent or like creating a child. But like, there's a lot of steps along the way where you can say, you know what? I don't think I'm ready for this responsibility.
I'll quit making this guy.
Yeah.
It's already dead body parts. Just leave him dead.
Yeah.
But he didn't. And now we're here and 2 people, I believe, have died.
Yeah.
His little brother, William, Victor's little brother, and Justine, who was falsely accused of the murder of William that the creature did. But Elizabeth and Alphonse are worried about Victor's mental health. So they send his golden retriever buddy, Henry Clerval, to go on this trip with him.
Not actually a dog.
Not actually a dog.
I was like, a dog?
A golden retriever in the sense that, like, I appreciate Henry because he's doing being rich right. He's not making guys. He's not all like getting existential. He's like, I'm going to go to England.
Very like Kato Kalin type.
Yes.
Like, he's here for the vibes, and we're just like, what interesting company you have kept.
Yeah. And also he tells Elizabeth before he leaves, he's like, I'm going to marry you. Victor does, not Henry. I'm going to marry you when I get back. It's just going to take like 2 years.
I mean, I guess. She doesn't really have a choice, does she?
So they go through Germany and Holland on the Rhine. And this chapter really goes into a lot of detail about the beauty of the area. And in this part, we see how companionship is helping Victor feel better. He's not 100%, but him not isolating himself and having Henry there, it's like a night and day difference.
Wow. Imagine understanding you need other people. Imagine needing to create life and then abandon it and then have it tell you that it is lonely for you to realize that you need other people.
And in this part, it's not, I don't remember, it's been months since I've read this book. I don't remember it talking about it, but I don't believe it makes this comparison a lot. But you're just, as you're thinking about this, you're thinking the whole time about how it is for the creature.
Yeah.
Like, Victor's looking at the beauty of the earth and the Rhine and like all the forest and stuff they're going through. And to him, it's this beautiful thing that he's experiencing with his best friend. And for the creature, it is just the world he is surviving in with no one. And also for the creature, I wrote here, he felt such love for the DeLacy family in part 2, but all but the blind father were terrified of him, which sent him back into the forest. And that really showed him, you know, he had the incident with the little girl and stuff that he saved from the river, but he's realizing he doesn't have a chance of connecting with anyone who is a regularly made human.
Yeah.
I guess I'll say, because for me, he's a human. He's made out of human parts, but he's just not a traditionally made human.
I think it's honestly pretty ridiculous the way everyone is acting about him. And it's really hard for me to understand why they can't just be like, this guy's like clearly been through some shit, but is obviously like a living person.
Yeah, for me, I feel like it would be like,
I might stare.
Yeah, it's like, do you need to tan?
Yeah, like, what's up?
Yeah, like, are you taking some weird supplements?
But when I see someone who looks different, I don't think, let me scream and run. That's fucking rude. I can't stress enough like how rude everybody is in this book.
It's also interesting. I just thought of this. But like, scientists were really interested in these 2 families in Eastern Kentucky for a long time because they have blue skin. And there's a lot of, you know, like, oh, this happened. It literally was just 2 people of French descent who had these really rare genetic things that would turn your skin blue and purple.
Yeah.
And those two people with those same genetics just managed to find each other and start a family.
Yeah.
They're the Blue Combses and Blue Fugits of Troublesome Creek, which is where my dad grew up.
Yeah.
And I just think about that all the time. Like, you know, they did isolate quite a bit. But not so much that, like, people didn't know them.
And also, they're just like, it's just like not a big deal. It's just like a thing to be interested in the first time you notice it because it's different.
Yeah. It's not like people were like, ah!
Yeah.
Like, they're blue.
Yeah.
This guy's tall and probably, I think he's yellowish.
Okay.
But, so basically the whole trip, Henry's loving life. He's enjoying himself, our king. And Victor is feeling better, but still depressed.
Yeah.
They go through England, then they go into Scotland, I think Perth, where Victor, his responsibility's weighing on him, so he decides him and Henry should split up for a bit. This is also like another like rich people thing, like, hey, this big 2-year vacation we got planned, we're going to split up for a minute. But Victor decides to go to the Orkneys to live in isolation and make this monster. And the Orkney Islands are off the coast of Scotland.
Okay.
And Henry is just going to keep going around the Celtic Anglo Isles, is what I call them. I'm not going to call them the British Isles. And he's just enjoying his life as a rich man should.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We should not have billionaires. If you have money, though, fucking enjoy it.
You don't need to be out here trying to be the president of anything. You need to be on vacation.
You need to be toes in the water,
100%.
ass in the sand, like that fucking country song.
It's literally disrespectful to the rest of us that you are trying to work. Leave some jobs for the rest of us,
And
okay?
that you are trying to just make people, you're like, I need to be God.
It's just like, come on. This is such a Frankenstein thing, too. Like, literally, has to create life, has to be God, take no responsibility. You don't actually want to be in charge of anybody. You just think you do because you're totally drunk on power. I can tell you, it is not worth it. Go on vacation.
Be Henry.
Be Henry.
I bet Scotland is so great that time of year, whatever time of year you're going. Go explore Scotland. Anyway, so pisses me off that Victor can travel like this and still just decides to be pissed and sad. You can still be sad if you're rich, but like,
I guess.
It's a lot easier to not be.
Yeah, I mean, like, you should be going to therapy.
Yeah, you should be going to therapy and like all of the stuff because, you know, there's a lot of things money can't buy, like family and all that. But there are things that money can buy, like healthcare and hobby stuff and all of that.
You got a lot of money and you're not happy. Feel free to give it away.
Yeah. But yeah, if I were a rich British man or woman, I put it in here, I'd be traveling and writing and traveling and not worrying about, I would just be worrying about my family, which Victor is.
Yeah.
But he's worrying about his family because of his actions.
Yeah.
Anyway, Henry has no clue what's going on, our king, as he shouldn't. And Victor starts work on the female creature, and every single day he is disgusted by the thought of what he is doing. And after this break, we're going to get into the creation of this female creature.
All right. I'm going to make a prediction, and I'm going to close my eyes because I don't want to see Bridget's reaction. But earlier, I almost said, I swear to God, if this piece of shit keeps rejecting, is it Elizabeth? Mm-hmm. And then he gets the hots for this lady creature he makes, I'm going to lose it. Anyway, let's go on to the creation.
Let's go on to the creation. And I keep calling this like the female creature. There's no good terms that I can think of for it because she's not considered a human.
Yeah, well, and like we don't really have pronouns for the other creature, but I guess in a creation sense, building a counterpart to this creature in the way that makes sense to the people who are doing it.
Yeah, and it's We have the male creature, which sometimes I'll call the monster. It's typically referred to as the monster. My emotional connection to him, though, makes me call him the creature sometimes. But yeah, this is the female creature that is being created. And Victor starts wondering if they're going to have kids, if this is a possibility, which also fucking kills me because you're building her.
You can decide.
Do you not know how, they probably didn't know how uteruses work because they still barely know how they work.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably the age of like hysteria and thinking that the uterus is wandering around the body.
Yeah. So when he's imagining her having children and it creates this race of devils that wreak havoc around the world, while he's doing all of this, Victor looks out the window to see the creature looking in, watching him.
I love Victor having a bad time. I love it.
He is on his shit. And then Victor's there. He's looking at this creature he's creating. He's looking at the monster outside, and he decides he can't fucking do this. Scientific curiosity is not worth it like it was 3 years before when he made the other creature. So, with the creature watching him, he tears apart the female's body that he's put together so far.
And how does that fucking go?
So, we will get into that. But I wanted to show one interesting thing here that I found looking at like Spark Notes and summaries and all of this stuff for this book. The representation of women in this book through the act of destroying the female creature.
Yeah.
We keep seeing Victor be worried that the female creature will either want to kill people herself, that the male creature will be like, no, we're not supposed to kill people. That's why, like, you were made for me. We'll just be together. And she's like, no, I want to kill. And he's also worried that maybe they will have kids that will also kill and leave the rainforest and unleash hell upon Earth. Victor's also worried that, she'll get pregnant and that'll destroy Earth. CourseHero.com says that this relates to how women are viewed in the book only as passive characters. Elizabeth is this angelic, sweet, doting sister cousin fiance.
Yeah. She's everything.
Justine takes on the guilty verdict for the murder of Victor's little brother who was killed by the creature so she can bring a sense of peace to the boy's family and to the community. Literally being executed instead of Victor admitting he was playing God and made a guy, and this guy is now taking revenge.
Yeah.
And Victor's mom, whose name I honestly forget.
Yeah.
Is just, again, this angelic woman who adopts this poor little girl, Elizabeth, for her son to marry when they grow up. And it's because all of these women are just placeholders for the good that Victor feels he lacks in himself.
I mean, and the creature in turn, right? Like, the creature wants this other half to, find this goodness that he's not finding within himself. So,
to me, these women aren't even good in like a person way. They're as much creatures to this story as the creature. They really lack a lot of autonomy.
Hell yeah.
And they're never difficult. They're never complicated, even while facing death. So the mere thought of this female creature going against Victor's wishes causes him to literally tear her body limb from limb before she can even gain sentience.
I feel like only a woman in this era could have written a man that could acknowledge his fear of women in this way.
And it's also very interesting because, again, this is a book written by women, actually written by a teenage girl.
Yeah.
And she had also, Mary Shelley, had suffered the stillbirth of her child.
So brutal.
So it also makes me wonder, what questions did she have about her child's life that it never got to live? Did she see herself as Victor, like many women, blaming infant loss on themselves when in reality it's not their fault? But even, I originally put down like back in the day, but even today,
yeah,
I think we've had, last time I read, 400 arrests in the country we live in the United States, since Roe v. Wade got overturned, from women who have had miscarriages, and now they're being investigated and they're being arrested.
It's completely absurd, and even before we were literally legally enforcing it, it was very socially enforced, and we enforce it like amongst communities that are supposed to be safe. We enforce this kind of thing on other women, and it's so poisonous and so toxic, and you see it everywhere.
And it's so common, too. Like, most of the time, you just don't know you've had a miscarriage.
Yeah. It's really, really, really normal.
And it just happens sometimes, which is not fair, especially if you're really wanting a kid, and that's not what people want to hear, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
And Victor's depression at having to even make the female creature, I feel like this relates to the sense of guilt and depression Mary had. She didn't just have the one stillbirth, she had multiples. Mm-hmm. And her Wikipedia page said that her depression caused her to isolate from her, again, much older husband. And we've said that before, but her husband that was like friends with her dad, he was also married when they first got together.
Cool.
Some people are like, oh, Mary Shelley's a homewrecker. I'm like, she was 18.
Yeah. Also,
she was 17.
I just like, there's a couple cases in maybe all of recorded history where I'm like, maybe we could frame this person as a homewrecker. But we do seem to usually use it for teenage girls, don't we? The Long Island Lolita, a.k.a. Amy Fisher, comes to mind as a girl that we reported on as though she were some kind of sexual deviant, even though she was a teenager who a 40-year-old was preying on.
Yeah. So Mary Shelley isolates from her much older husband, and she finds comfort only in her work, her writing. Mm-hmm. Which is similar to Victor. His mom dies, and he only finds comfort in his work, but his work is creating this creature.
Yeah.
I personally don't think the women in this book represent Mary at all. Mm-hmm. I don't think she wrote them to represent her. I think there's something to be said about these women not having autonomy and her probably feeling like she doesn't have autonomy.
Yeah.
And originally she did publish this book anonymously, and everybody thought it was written by a man. So I think that's why a lot of the main characters are males.
Yeah.
I think it would sell better. I think people would, at that time, understand it better. And I think Mary Shelley knew that. But I think to her, she represented herself through these two main male characters, Victor and the creature. And maybe the stories of the women reflect her feeling a lack of autonomy. But also, I wonder to her if the women represented her babies she lost, forever getting to be these uncomplicated, angelic figures with no strife and no difficulties besides their own deaths.
I think there's something really beautiful about all of the women being uncomplicated, because in reality it's so complicated to be a woman. And I also think like internalized misogyny is real. And if I can just really imagine wanting to write a character that felt real and full and human and reaching for a man.
Yeah.
Because how else can that character walk through the world without the burden of being not a man with means, not a man who can do whatever he wants? So
that was a lot of the stuff that I had been like, just when I was making my notes, wondering about. Mm-hmm. So he tears the body of the woman limb from limb.
Cool.
And the creature who's outside the window, of course, gets pissed. Mm-hmm. And he leaves.
Okay.
He comes back later, and Victor's just like staring at a wall or staring out the window or something. When he comes back later, he comes back to yell at Victor. And he's telling Victor, like, you broke your promise.
Yeah.
So he promises Victor that he's going to go to the ends of the earth to punish him, not just for, tearing up the woman, but for making him ugly, and for not letting him have a single companion in the world to relate to.
Yeah.
And he has a line here that says, you are my creator, but I am your master.
Hell yeah, girl. Yell at your mom. Tell her how it is.
So people relate this, I love that you just said that, people relate this to the monster representing Lucifer and Victor representing God, with Lucifer wanting power. I still think the parent-child theory, the mom-daughter theory is very much there with this.
Well, I mean, isn't Lucifer and God a mother-daughter story too? Isn't it really just you are a daughter desperate to become your own person, and your mother is this huge shadow on you?
And also, like, looking at it specifically from a mother, because a lot of instances, and there are, like, some, not every family is like a mom and a dad.
Yeah.
But in some of those, like, more traditional settings, it's expected that the woman, when she has a baby, kind of gives up everything.
100%.
Her hobbies, everything that she does, her job, and just becomes a mother.
Yep.
And men don't really have that.
No, they do not.
In some instances, they probably do. But in the traditional, like, what's pushed on us as family roles, women are supposed to just be moms. So when the kid grows up and is trying to be its own person, that's got to be scary because you've given up everything to be this role. And now they're wanting to move away from you having that role.
I mean, this is how we create and perpetuate cycles of abuse, right? Like, not to excuse an abusive mother, because I don't think that that's like at all appropriate. No. A child has no autonomy. However, if we want to understand why this happens, I think we can look to the patriarchy, certainly.
Yeah, and definitely it's never an excuse for a mom to abuse a child. But you can see where some of this mother-daughter tension comes from, especially in those teenage years where the daughter's about to leave. So I really see this as that with we are in the creature's adolescence.
Yes.
Since the creature is stuck in this life of loneliness, he vows revenge on Victor, telling him, remember, I shall be with you on your wedding night. And then he leaves. And Victor, who's super focused in on himself, is like, man, Elizabeth's going to be so sad when the monster kills me.
I think I know what's going to happen instead. And I'm so stressed.
So Henry, a proper rich man, he writes him and is like, hey, meet me in Perth. Let's go to India.
Yeah, girl, go off.
So Victor cleans up the place he's been living and staying at, his laboratory. He gets on a boat. While he's on the ocean, or the sea, I guess technically, he throws over all of the body parts of the female into the ocean.
He just fucking brought that on the boat?
Yeah. It's to the Orkney, so I think he just had his own little, like, rowboat.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Sure. I'm imagining him like on a fucking cruise ship. I'm like, men can get away with anything.
No, so he's by himself on a boat.
Okay.
So I think it's just one of those cases like, I've never lived by water, but especially, you know, with those isles and everything, I think you could just kind of like rent a boat, go over there.
Yeah.
But he knows this isn't over. He's just ready now to get to Perth and to hang out with Henry.
Mm-hmm.
So he's dumped the body parts overboard, and he falls asleep on the boat, and his boat washes up along the Irish shore.
Okay.
Where when he wakes up, he meets two men. I think they're fishermen.
Okay.
And Victor goes on this big rant in his story about how the Swiss are way more friendly and hospitable than the Irish.
Okay.
Because he's like, these two Irish dudes are so fucking rude to me.
Okay.
But there's a reason why these two Irish men are very rude and short with him. And I'm going to tell you that reason after this break.
All right. All right, what's really going on?
Victor, on the shores of Ireland, is arrested and taken to speak with the magistrate, Mr. Kerwin.
Okay.
They are taking him to be questioned about a murder that's happened.
Shit.
The magistrate explains that folks found a body washed ashore.
Well.
They noticed that the victim had been strangled.
Mm-hmm.
And considering Victor's boat then came ashore not long after, people were like, yeah, 2 + 2 = 4. When Victor sees the victim, he is absolutely horrified because it's his dear friend Henry.
Not Henry.
It's Henry. And he knows it's the monster that's done this.
Yeah.
Killing his best friend just as he'd killed his little brother. But of course, everyone else believes it's Victor, especially because villagers say they'd seen a man in a boat around the time the body washed up.
Yeah.
Or not long before the body washed up. So Victor goes into this terrible, delirious illness in his grief while he's awaiting in prison. He wants to die, and he believes that that may be the only thing that stops the monster from hurting anyone else he loves.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just kind of like hoping he dies naturally because he's sick. You know, when you're like so stressed out, you've made yourself sick. He believes that the cup of life is poisoned forever.
Okay.
He talks in Swiss German or Swiss Italian, whichever one is his native. He speaks both, but whichever one is his native tongue. And in his native tongue, he admits he's responsible for the death of Henry, not because he physically did something to Henry, but because he created the monster. But of course, the nurse and doctor and like police wardens and stuff don't speak this language.
Yeah.
So they're just like, this dude's just muttering to himself in his own language.
Yeah.
The magistrate ends up feeling worried for Victor, and he ends up feeling worried enough that he sends for Victor's father, Alphonse, to come to Ireland. And when Alphonse tells Victor that Elizabeth is doing fine, they're both happy and they're both healthy, they're both just worried about him, Victor starts to recover. Because that was another thing. He's like, I bet the monster's already killed my dad and my Elizabeth.
Yeah. I'm not going to like do anything about it or warn them.
Yeah.
I'm just going to accept that it's like my fault and I'll just wallow until it's all done.
I'm just going to waller in misery. But he starts to recover because he knows that the monster's not yet reached his dad or fiance, sister, cousin. And a jury ends up determining that Victor is exonerated for the crime.
Why? Because he's rich?
Because someone in the Orkneys was able to prove that he was there during the time of the murder. It was like a boat guy or something, I forget, or the like lab guy, but they were able to be like, no, he was in the Orkneys.
It's also just like, this cannot be the way that we just accepted doing law. Like,
Yeah.
well, we're pretty sure it was him unless someone else says maybe it wasn't, and then we'll just go like, I don't know.
Yeah. So thinking about women again, Justine falsely confessed to the murder of the little brother William and was executed. But Victor, who did arguably inadvertently kill Henry by creating the monster, is exonerated. So this, women get in more trouble than men for things.
Yeah, it feels a lot like a damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? Because I would argue that neither of them was responsible for the deaths, honestly.
Not in like a law way.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, not really even in a technical way. Like, I will accuse Victor of a lot of things he has done.
He didn't kill Henry.
No, but the creature is fully murdering people. As much as like I want to defend the creature, that's true, and we can know how the creature got there.
Yeah,
but did strangle that bratty little boy.
Yeah, and now Henry.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does, and he does think about like how much Justine had to suffer and how he's just getting to go home.
It's cool that it took this much for him to think about that when he had the power to prevent her death.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing for me.
It's also just like, for me, in, pop culture, I consume a lot of it. And I'm not saying that, these two women are not perfect. I shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
But there are two celebrity women who have just gotten like raked over the coals. I think that's a saying.
Yeah.
For one was Chapel Roan.
Oh my God. I watched an entire video essay about this.
And it's like she's in trouble. And I get she doesn't like fans. But she's in trouble for what a security guard said to an 11-year-old girl that she didn't make him do.
The entire thing is completely invented. It goes even deeper than you think. And people are desperate to crucify her for not falling in line.
And they're bringing up, they're like, she acted like she was poor and now like, and she was, but it's all of it is still, she got banned from performing in a city.
Yeah.
Because of the actions of an adult male who has came out and publicly said he did not, she had nothing to do with it.
Also, she's being accused of lying about being poor. And like, she was poor. She was like upper middle class or whatever, but like people are like, she never lived in a trailer. She did. It shouldn't even matter, because how did we even get there? When in reality, the little girl in question is Jude Law's biological kid.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't understand where we draw the line.
Yeah.
When is it or isn't it okay to be a rich girl? Like, when are you allowed to have or not have money?
Yeah.
And there's just no winning.
There isn't. And then also people are talking about, I I have been bumping one of her songs on repeat stateside. Zara Lawson?
I do not know who that is.
I think that's how you say your name. Zara Larson, maybe. Somebody recorded themselves at her concert saying, "Oh, so glad I got to see Zara Larson before I had my abortion."
Uh-huh.
And she commented something like, "Hell yeah, baby, Fetus got to see me before." Like, she just said something ridiculous. She lost a $3 million brand deal over it.
It is unreal the way that the president of the United States continues to say the most outlandish anti-humanitarian shit, and we are splitting hairs over anything a non-presidential woman is doing.
Yeah.
These are not people who are politicians. They are literally just celebrities.
Yeah.
They are just regular people who are making art and who maybe say fucked up shit sometimes. Go look at your own Facebook before you say shit to other people.
Yeah, go. It's ridiculous.
Everyone hates women, guys. I know you didn't hear this, but before we started, I was like, Bridget, I'll just not yell. I'll just not yell. And so if there's any bleed, it'll be solved. And then I just can't help it.
Yeah.
Because the world hates women and it's exhausting. Because, like, it's so hard to untangle and we perpetuate it on each other. And it's just like, we're in a class war.
Yeah. And I have to stop myself. I put it on other women all the time because I'm like, well, I expect better of other women.
And it's just, I really shouldn't. I don't want to. I want to just accept that we're all people and that I should expect the same from all of us. And, like, it's nuanced and complicated and we get that. But if you take anything away from this, be suspicious when all of a sudden there is a pile-on a woman.
Yeah.
Or any marginalized person, especially a more marginalized person.
Yeah.
Really, really interrogate it. Don't just take it at face value. And I honestly think that goes with anything you hear these days.
Yeah. People got mad at the last 2 Oscars ago because this one woman didn't look happy when she lost. And it was a black woman. Oh my gosh, who was it? I'm blanking. But people got mad because they said she looked too sad and she wasn't supporting her other people. This past one, I think Teyana Taylor.
Uh-huh.
She jumped up and was clapping when the other person won.
Yeah.
And, like, bought them shoes and all of this stuff. Like, and now people are like, well, she was too happy that she lost and was like, she was just performing and it's like, these 2 poor black women who lost awards were not, they couldn't even lose correctly to you.
I think just, like, before you open your mouth to say anything about a black woman that isn't positive, why don't you just close it?
Yeah.
Like, I just don't think you need to add to anything. I cannot imagine. It is so hard to be a woman, and I'm a fucking white lady.
Yeah.
Leave them alone.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up. Cat hair.
That's right.
Shut up. But I remember, like, when all of this was going on recently with the Oscars and stuff, because, like I said, I follow a lot of pop culture stuff. Mm-hmm. It made me think of I think it was the Oscars. It could have been the Grammys. I don't watch any of them, actually. Yeah. But I'm like, these poor black women could not, they're being criticized for either end of the spectrum of how they exhibit human emotions. And it's like, and that's something for so small. It's even like something so much more small than what, like, Chapel and Zara, are getting flack for. But it's like, a lot of the times women just aren't allowed to be complicated.
You aren't. I mean, the reason that this refrain rings so true for, I think, pretty much anybody who is seen by society as a woman is, like, smile more. Why aren't you smiling? I don't like that you aren't accepting everything I say to you anymore, and it bothers me when a woman doesn't smile at me. And I don't understand why somebody can't hear that and feel how insidious and dangerous it feels to just exist as a woman and, like, be a person in the world. Because, like, it affects all of us. Like, it shouldn't have to. You should just care about other people. But, like, this sort of social policing affects all of us. This, like, because it's not even never giving people the benefit of the doubt, is it? It's just giving certain people way too much grace. I would say going way beyond grace and just having like completely inappropriate parasocial relationships with them and acting like they can do no wrong. I'm looking at you, Johnny Depp stans. Y'all need to go to therapy. And on the other end of the spectrum, it is just like you are not willing to accept that you are projecting something onto these people you do not know. Like, that's really what it is. And you are expecting them to fit some kind of status quo. And is like, that what you want?
Yeah. Yeah. Johnny Depp stands also living in Kentucky when all of this was going down, Johnny Depp's home state, even though he like spent his high school years in Florida, but like his family's from Kentucky. The amount of people were like, he's just so nice and da-da-da-da-da, and he's from Kentucky, and he's my Jack Sparrow and stuff. It's like, I saw those text messages that were a part of the, like, public record.
Yeah.
As much as I watched all of his shit growing up. He was from Kentucky. He did all this, like, goth, emo-y stuff. It didn't make me like, oh, well, there had to have been something. I saw that and I was like, I don't like that.
I think something that we could all learn to embrace is that people can do really bad things and also make stuff you like.
Yeah.
People can be talented and abusive.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy that in one breath, I mean, and it's not really that crazy because we see it with like Trump supporters and stuff, but it's like in one breath, somebody can be like, he's the best actor ever, and, like, I just love him so much, and I can tell he's not lying. And I'm like, really? That's interesting that he can be the best actor you've ever seen and also impossible for him to lie.
I think it was Kathy Griffin or somebody was like, why the fuck does he speak with a British accent? He's from Kentucky.
Sometimes Kathy hits it so hard, and I'm blown away.
Like, that is, there's just, he has been in this industry for a long time, and there was a lot of people like, oh, well, he didn't abuse Kate Moss and he didn't abuse
what does that have to do with anything?
Winona Ryder and stuff like that. And it's like, well, yeah, people can be abusers and not abuse you.
And also, you don't know any of these people or any of these situations, and you don't have to have something to say about it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing too. You're getting caught up in the frenzy that you are being incentivized to get caught up into, because guess what? There was a company that was flooding you with all of that shit, seeding all of this discourse. Like, that's real.
Yeah.
It was the same firm that Justin Baldoni hired to smear Blake Lively. We know that. That is a true fact. And I feel like it should really inform the way that you think about anytime a marginalized person is being put on blast.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
And it relates to Frankenstein anyway.
And it relates to Frankenstein. So Alphonse and his son Victor start heading home, and Victor's worried that the monster's going to beat him there. Mm-hmm. So he's still so depressed, so da-da-da-da-da. He tells his dad he's responsible for the deaths of Justine, Henry, and William, but of course he's desperate, he's crazy acting, and his dad just thinks he's gone mad.
Yeah.
They reach Paris on their way home, so they're getting closer, and Victor gets a letter from Elizabeth, and she's like, I understand if you've fallen in love with another woman. Just tell me and I'll understand. God. And it's because Elizabeth can't even be mad at her brother, cousin, fiance, who has gone years traveling the world while she stays at home tending to his parents. She takes care of his dad and is waiting for him. And she's understanding and loyal and loving, and she's just waiting on him. But he's like, no, you're the only one for me. I just have a terrible, terrible secret.
God.
And with that, I think we're going to head into our patron-only section. Again, this is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. And you should watch it. It's public domain now. I think you could just, or not watch it, read it. I think you can just read it for free. You could always read it for free at your local library, Libby app. Hop on that shit. But yeah, we're going to tell the patrons the very end of this story.
Oh my God. Get paid enough to care about that.
I'm gonna get my gun. I missed. You shot at him through a fucking window.
Yeah. It's like, what does it take to rile this guy up?
The person telling this story is not Victor, is not the monster. So he gets a dog sled. And Brooke, what do you think of the very rushed, sorry about that, ending of Frankenstein?
I mean, I really feel like you covered it all. You know, like Frankenstein is a story that I think we all think we're familiar with. And it's just totally, totally different than I thought. Yeah. It's not about any of the things that I thought it was about. And it feels really, without being heavy-handed at all, with being just like a horror story, like an interesting story, it feels like it is really just about what it means to be alive.
Yeah.
And to be human. And in this moment, I'm struck by, and I'm not going to spoil the ending. I'm going to try to talk around this, but like the parallels between the creature and Victor.
Yeah.
And the ways in which the creature wanted so badly to have connection, and Victor had it, but didn't appreciate it.
Yeah.
Did not pursue it, did not spend time unless he was forced to with other people. He isolated on his own and focused on his own desires, but the creature was so lonely and so desired to have that and couldn't. And I think that that's really interesting.
I definitely, after reading it, because, you know, sometimes with classics, some of the flowery language gets to me, and I'm like, I space out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, looking at the core of what this story is, after reading it, and I had, like, read part of it in high school, but I didn't finish it because I had my wisdom teeth taken out that week, and then by the time I got back, we were on The Color Purple in that class, so like I didn't have to finish it. But after finishing it, I can definitely see how this is the like genre defining book of, you know, not just the Gothic period, but also sci-fi.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's dealing with morality and everything. It is, I think, an underrated book. I think the concept of Frankenstein is probably overrated.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the truth of the story and the full story is underrated.
Yeah, from what I understood Frankenstein to be, I was like, I don't know why this is a story that we keep retelling. And now, from what I understand it to be, I'm like, I don't know why distilling this story down to its least interesting parts was the way that it was perpetuated, because I feel like there is actually so much to, and anybody who read it is going to be like, yeah, obviously it's Frankenstein. And I'm like, okay, but listen, the boring washing of Frankenstein as an idea and the creature as a character is so pervasive.
Yeah.
I feel like I cannot be the only person who did not think that this story was about what it's about.
Yeah. It's got so much into it. There's murder mysteries. There's, you know, the relation between person and God and creator and life and morality and what's good and what's bad, and how there's not really defined just parallels of, or like opposite ends of both of those. It's amazing. And then I just keep going back to the fact that it was written by like an 18-year-old girl.
And I feel like what's really compelling about it too, and like you said about it being genre defining, is like there's nothing about it. It doesn't make me feel like it wants me to feel a certain way.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of stories, and I like stories like this, right? Like I read a lot of romance, but like you pick it up because you want something from it.
Yeah.
And you want to feel a certain way. And this feels like something that is just a story. And for how fantastic it is, it feels really realistic.
Yeah.
Like it's not a story about a happy ending or not a happy ending. It's not a story where you're meant to feel some kind of emotion or understand some kind of concept. It feels exploratory.
Yeah.
It feels like this story was a writer going out on an expedition into like the human condition.
Yeah.
Well,
Or I don't know if that's coming through. I imagine it is. We're getting some weird noises in our microphones.
Yeah.
Or at least in our headphones. So we were already going to wrap up there. That might be the creature like, hey.
He's like, that's enough.
That's enough. We talked about how we kicked Ian off the podcast because we don't want too many men with podcasts, too many white women with podcasts. The monster's like, y'all got to get out of there.
He's like, we've got a quota. You filled it. But that was a great story. I'm really glad to have heard about it.
Hell yeah. We'll be back soon.
We'll be back soon, and we'll be back to Twilight, y'all.
Back to Twilight. And then once we finish the Twilight series, Brooke and I both read a book that we're going to talk about.
Hell yeah. Talk to you soon.
See ya.